Hey guys, welcome to video number 2 in the kitchen table stamper Hey Chuck Stamp-A-Stack. Got the Hey Chuck bundle and we are making 8 awesome cards. If you missed video number 1, we made this It's Your Birthday. Now of course you do not have to use the Hey Chuck. You can use the Hey Chick or the goats or the donkeys or the sheeps or any other cute animal set that I might have convinced you to buy and do this Stamp-A-Stack, but I'm loving the new Hey Chuck bundle. We're going to do You Rule the Roost today, and I'll be back tomorrow with You've Got Something to Crow About. Now this class is a Wonder Recipe number 8 Stamp-A-Stack, and if you're familiar with my Stamp-A-Stacks, I always encourage you to check out the first video first, because in that first video, we went ahead and cut our designer series paper according to the Wonder Recipe number 8. Now this is a day at the farm designer series paper. It was a celebration paper, and there's an optional class packet if you didn't get that paper, if you just want the easy button for this project, with a quarter pack of Day at the Farm, all of your card bases cut and scored for you, envelopes for your cards. All the pieces that are from basic die cutting are done for you. So in this case, we're going to use some nested essentials and the brand new gorgeously made dies. You might not have these yet. So we do the basic die cutting for you, and that's included in your envelopes. You get 2 yards of denim ribbon, 40 pieces of the rustic metallic dots, and all the cardstock that you need to stamp your Hey Chucks and die cut the pieces, all in one convenient pack. So check out kitchentablestamper.com/shop and then sort on the right hand side for class packets, and you can see if there's any of these left. The class is running free on the blog yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and I will link those videos together for you. So now when you get your card kit from us, the pieces are in the envelope, and we've done the basic die cutting for you. We don't do any embossing, and sometimes people ask, why don't you emboss? Well, that would be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of card fronts, and we can't do that. So we suggest that you use whatever stamping or embossing method you want on your cards. I chose the 3D timber embossing folder. This is kind of a nice neutral on the farm background. And in the previous video, we did all 8 card bases. So that's done. I've got my card base embossed. Now we're going to take our pieces from the Wonder Recipe. And the Wonder Recipe is a 1-sheet Wonder cutting diagram. And when you cut your designer series paper according to the template and then deal out the pieces, you've got most of the card design done right there, because your color palette is decided, your theme is kind of chosen. Grab a bundle that you love and make cards. You can cut 1 piece according to the Wonder Recipe, or you can do like we did and cut 3 pieces according to the Wonder Recipe and just deal out the pieces and make those cards. Sometimes cutting the paper is half the battle of getting started creatively, isn't it? Cutting that beautiful designer series paper can be rough. Well, we modified our Wonder Recipe number 8, and we cut the gingham or the plaid piece in half. We've got the 2 by 4 1/4 inch vegetable pieces. We've got our embossed card front. So let's go ahead and do the kit. And the Wonder Recipe makes 3 of this design. So let's go ahead and do our designer series paper. We're going to adhere them to the 3 card bases. Now I've already got these prepared and embossed. And I'm going to use liquid glue to attach these designer series papers, and my pattern here is going to be a little bit to the left and angled down for the gingham, and a little bit to the right and angled up for the vegetables. So we've got kind of a fun, whimsical placement. Let's do that for all 3 of our cards. Now, if I'm doing these cards by myself, I'm not on the video, I'm cutting the designer series paper for all 8 cards when I do the Wonder Recipe. And I'm embossing all of the card fronts, all 8 card fronts. Then I adhere all 8 designer series paper, not just for one design. And what happens with these Stamp-A-Stacks is you cut down on picking up, putting down 2 walls, those repeat motions. You get real efficient And so making the cards becomes more pleasurable. There's less fatigue, you get more done, you can send more cards, so it's a really good method to use. All right, we've got our designer series papers. Let's set this aside and let's do our background. If you saw video number 1, we're going to do the same technique. We've got our basic white, and this die cut was in the kit. We did this one for you. Let me show you. I've got my die chart here. I don't have my measurements done or my label done yet, but we can still show you. This is the Nested Essentials dies, and we're using the largest fishtail banner here. We cut that. Then we cut a scrap using the bottom of the longest fishtail banner out of Garden Green. And then after we cut the scrap, we used this torn edge die that's from the Gorgeously Made. Let's see, which way did we do it? I don't know exactly. Somewhere in there. But we cut that off for you, and now it's all ready to be the ground, and that's from this Gorgeously Made dies. I love this set. The other die cut, since we're talking about this Gorgeously Made, is this white banner for, it's got kind of like torn edges, it looks like tape. That's also from Gorgeously Made, and we cut that one for you. So we'll set this aside for just a minute. We'll stamp a greeting on it soon, but let's build a background here. We've got the ground, and now we want to add some sky. We're going to ink our brush, tap off so that you don't get that thing that looks like a big thumbprint in the middle of your blended background, and swirl until you've applied all the color, and repeat. Now this color has to build, and it might take 4 or 5 times. It might take 10 times, depending on how inked your pad is. And so just take your time and build. All right, background is brushed. Now let's add some texture. And I've got a cool text background. This background piece is from the Coordinating Gorgeously Made stamp set. So the stamps and dies can be bundled together. You can save 10% right now if you get both pieces. All right, we're going to do the background for all of our pennants at one time. And if I'm doing this kit, I'm not just doing all of the pennants at one time. I'm doing all of the circles, I'm doing all the notebook papers, all the backgrounds for all 8 cards at one time. Let's glue the ground right on there. It'll line right up for you. And then we'll put this aside for a minute. Let's do some stamping. We've got our beautiful little banner that looks kind of like torn tape, and Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and You Rule the Roost. Now this one's going to be a little tricky to get, but I'll get over it and take a deep breath and own it. Yeah, not bad. Do all of your banners and grab the packet. In the packet you have a couple of sheets of basic white cardstock. Let's stamp our chicken. I love the chicken with the shorts. He's so cute. All right, chicken with the shorts. We need one of those. And we need 1 for each card. So you will do 3. I have, by the magic of television, some that are already done and waiting. So that's my chicken. And now if I'm doing this again at home, I repeat these every time I do a Stamp-A-Stack. But if you're new to the Stamp-A-Stacks, I want to make sure you know, because it's pretty awesome. I do the stamping, all the chickens, all the fences, all the pieces from the Hey Chuck on the half sheet, get them all stamped for every card, and then get them all colored for every card. Then I put the half sheet, because that fits right into my Big Shot, with 1 each set up to die cut, and then that way you get the least amount of passes through your Big Shot or your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And when you color them in batch coloring, you can do all of the greens. So we've got Granny Apple Green, but we want Garden Green. So we're going to go over that with light shaded spruce. And that's going to turn this from that yellow green to more of a a middle green, a nice yellow blue balance like garden green. But then I would do all of the garden green things for all of the chickens. And now we're gonna go to pecan pie. And I would do all the pecan pie for all 8 cards before I die cut, which means less taking on and off of the marker caps. And again, these Stampin' Stacks just reduce the fatigue and allow you to produce more cards more quickly with more joy and less work. All right, so we're gonna do a little shadow at the top of the shorts, on the top of the chicken, and at the bottom on its legs. So cute. All right, now we're gonna switch over to cherry cobbler, and we're gonna do the wattles and the comb. Oh my gosh, I love that look he's given. My chickens give that look. You have the cutest little girls. I'll try to share couple of videos on the social media. I love chickens. They make awesome pets. All right, so we can't have roosters though, so I don't have any. I only have rooster stamps. All right, there's the comb and wattle. Let's do the shorts and the legs. I've got dark daffodil delight for that. Haha, cute. Don't forget the legs. Don't want to take those marker caps on and off any more times than is absolutely necessary. All right, smoky slate. I got light and dark. Oh, but sometimes you forget spots and you'll have to take off the marker caps more than once. I have to do the tail with the pecan pie, so that's all right. But it does minimize how many times you pick up and put down the same markers or take the caps on and off of the same markers. All right, now I need a little color lifter because we did the light smoky slate along the side of chicken's head there, where the neck meets the body, and we're gonna blend that back to white. And, oh, look at that, I forgot his beak too. All right, daffodil delight, and then pecan pie for the tail. Let's get that colored in. When I do their tails, I like to just not quite go to the end, leave a little white and kind of like a jagged edge, because that's how their feathers look. They're not any solid color. And then we'll just flick some of the dark pecan pie, and then we kind of dab to bring the dark and the light together, and it starts to give some of that, you know, pattern and like feathers would really have. All right, we're gonna die cut all of our birds for our 3 cards. By the magic of television, my other ones are done. There they are. Aren't they cute? So let's get the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in here. And we're also going to grab from the kit a little bit of basic black for the weather vane and a bit of crushed curry for the sun. Got the sun die here. And I'm going to cut smaller so I can fit more on the platform at one time. I want to run through all in one pass. That's what I call winning. So got 1, 2, and 3 here. Got my chicken and weather vane and sun. Put a lid on and give a crank. Okay, we've got our bits. Let's go ahead and pop these little guys out of the die and bring in our tag and our samples. We're going to add Chuck to the tag with Stampin' Dimensionals. So there's our background and our samples. Now turn this little dude over. And we'll pop him on so his feet are nice on the ground and the tail is mostly on the tag. I found that was good placement and good balance. Get our cards in here and let's add our tag to the card. Now in your kit you have denim ribbon. You have 2 yards, which is going to be more than enough to do your cards. Leave a little bit left to play with the designer series paper, especially if you keep in mind that you need about 7 inches for this. All right, So for each of these little banners, we're going to take 7 inches, and when I'm doing this, I'm cutting all my 7-inch pieces for cards 2 and 3, and my 3-inch pieces for card 1. And then everything that's left is for fun and games. I'm going to fold it in half, cut the tail at a nice angle, and then I'm going to take my Stampin' Dimensionals. I love the edges of these for stuff like this. We're going to cut the edges, a nice long piece. Add that to the back of our banner. And then we're going to use some tear and tape adhesive to hold it all together. So fold your ribbon the way you like it. Greeting is sticky, and just adhere it to the ribbon. Little tear and tape adhesive. We're going to pull off about 3/8 of an inch. We're going to lift and glue the 2 ribbons together. So just a little bit right about there. Peel and stick. You can use a little mini glue dot right here too if you like, but I like that it can stick it down on the table flat. And then just add the tear and tape. Keep those tails apart. Flip another strip of tear and tape adhesive and pop that on the card. Now you've got the whole sentiment assembly. Get that on the card. Look how cute it's coming together. I'm going to put my sun and my weather vane on with liquid glue. I like liquid glue, and we're going to do a very light squeeze and just swipe the bottle. Because of the fine detail of these dies, if you wanted to, you could put a little adhesive sheet and then do your die cutting, but you can share the adhesive by just bringing the 2 parts together. Then it helps to keep any adhesive from oozing out underneath. You still get good contact. And your sun by tucking it just under the edge of the ribbon, and your weather vane too. All right, we have got the other 3 copies of our card. Now it's time to embellish. Now you get 40 pieces of this metallic dots in your packet, so you can do 5 on each card if you want to, but you'll have to mix up between 2 large ones and 3 small ones, and you'll have to mix up between 3 large and 2 small, and 2 small and 3 large. So I'm going to do 3 large ones here, and then, or 2 large, 1 small, and then over here I'm going to do 1 large, 1 small. So make sure you mix them up as you're going, is what I'm saying, so that you have enough for all 5. Now if you don't want to do 5, that's okay. Maybe you just want to do the 2 right here. Okay, that looks pretty cool. A little bit more conservative on the dots, or maybe you just want to do 3, and you can do them like right here. All right, so the choice is yours. If you're going to do 5, mix them up, larges and smalls, so that you have enough for all the cards. All right, you rule the roost. That was design number 2 in the kitchen table stamper Hey Chuck Stamp-A-Stack. I'll be back tomorrow with There's Something to Crow About. If you missed It's Your Birthday, check out the quick links below the video embedded on the blog or in the description if you're watching on Facebook to see if there are still optional Hey Chuck Stamp-A-Stack class packets. Head over to kitchentablestamper.com/shop, and on the right hand side click the menu to sort for class packets. You'll see if there's any left there. To shop Stampin' Up! 24/7, buzz over to MarisaAlvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in video number 3.